In honor of Dr. Seuss's 110th birthday today, we have based our service on messages found in many of his children's books, such as The Lorax, Horton Hatches an Egg, and One Fish, Two Fish, Red Fish, Blue Fish, and how the messages in these books have affected our lives.
In Green Eggs and Ham, the main character, Mr. Grump, at least I think that's what his name is, tries something new and enjoys it. And I have a story like that too. At the beginning of my 8th grade year, my brother decided to join the high school cross-country team. He enjoyed it a lot, so I decided I would join the team too. So the first day of summer before my freshman year, I went to my first cross-country practice. My brother and I biked to practice, and then we started running, and we discovered that not only was I the slowest runner, I was the slowest runner by far. None of the other freshman runners who were normally running with me had started attending practices yet, or so I was told. As I watched the other runners move ahead, I noticed one had dropped back. To my extreme embarrassment, I realized he was a senior, captain, and the fastest runner on the team. He ran with me for a bit, talked with me, and then found another runner to run back with me. I was truly grateful for his advice and motivation, and honored he would spend part of his run with me. This senior, as well as the other runners, convinced me to stay with cross country, even if I was always at the back. As time went on, I grew faster. I was no longer running in the trail of slower runners, and instead in the middle of groups of faster runners. In cross country, I grew as a runner and a person, and being on the team taught me how to be a teammate, friend, and leader. This year, as a senior, I was named a captain, and I remember and tried to emulate the senior who made me feel welcome and ran with me my first day. So, I tried something new, was terrible, stuck with it, and now can't imagine life without it. I think I may have one-upped Mr. Grump.
When I started high school, I had the traditional perception of what high school was like. I'd always thought of athletes being the popular students, such as the football players or basketball players, or like Granger over there, the cross-country runners or swimmers. However, 4 years ago, I started going to Central Academy basically all day, and Central Academy doesn't really have any sports teams unless you count the summer rowing club. But I did learn that instead of athletes, they appreciate more academic competitors like debaters or science bowlers. In particular, I always thought that one group was always the coolest. I'm speaking, of course, of the mathletes. Yes. These are the students, in case anyone doesn't know, who go to math competitions throughout the year. They're the nerdiest kids, the champions of the honor roll, and the students who are always prepared with unsheathed calculators and sharpened pencils for perplexing problems in academic competition. Yes. So in 8th grade, I decided to go to my first math contest. It was a GPML contest, which stands for Great Plains Math League, which involves several schools coming together from around Iowa to engage in friendly academic battle and have some free donuts. So, going into this, I had no idea what to expect. But when I got there, I found out that a basic math contest is essentially a series of tests involving individual and team-based problem solving. So when the contest started, they sat all the students down and gave each of them a test. And feeling very nervous, I tried to calm myself down by remembering that I had never failed a math test before, so this couldn't be that bad. But then the contest started, and I realized that I had no idea what I was talking about. Yeah. I sat dumbfounded at each of the perplexing problems in front of me, nonplussed at the nonsensical gibberish, and left speechless by what seemed to me an exam of Herculean impossibility. Okay, so this may be a little overdramatic, but an hour later, I had succeeded in failing a math test for the first time. And then another hour later, I had succeeded in failing a math test for the second time. Yeah. So when the day was over, I had barely answered a single question and basically ended up with a score of 0. So my first experience as a mathlete didn't end so well. At the end of the day, I was confused and frustrated, but mostly I was embarrassed at how easily I was defeated. Needless to say, I hated every second and never wanted to go back ever again. But in the end, this is what happens when you try new things. Sometimes we like new things, sometimes we think we're perfect and able to do anything we want to on the fly. But when we try new things, we remember that we're not perfect and we have limitations. We learn about things we've never considered before, as well as how we learn ourselves. We learn about how to work towards something to better ourselves and to achieve new goals. And even if we're embarrassed in front of other people, our peers and colleagues, we may discover at the end we find a new passion. I'm really glad I continued going to math contests, and it might not have been after the second one or the third one, but eventually I really learned that I have a passion for mathematics, and it's something I'm really grateful for, because at the end, this has given me some of my best memories for high school, and I hope it'll give me some of my best memories in the future. Thank you.